Hi and welcome to this video log with me, Wayne, from SwimCyleRunCoach. Well, the Triathlon Show 2013, it was last weekend. I only managed to get 2 hours there from 10 o'clock till 12 o'clock on the Saturday morning. But it was buzzing by then, so I should imagine later on it actually buzzed even more. What did I think of it though, and what did I buy? Well, you're just about to find out. Okay, so let's first deal with what I bought. My wife was rather shocked with these. This is a pair of Zogs goggles. This is the most expensive pair of goggles I've ever bought. I actually looked at these in an advert a short while before the show, and I thought they'd be quite interesting, especially for open water. They're incredibly flexible goggles, so they actually fit quite well on the face. Yeah, so you can sort of stick them to your face and they'll be quite sturdy and stay there easily. The thing they do though is they react to light. So as the light gets stronger, or the sun gets stronger, they actually darken up. And I don't know if you've ever swum open water and suddenly you've got the sun in your eyes because it's early morning. But when you do that, you need a pair of dark goggles, and I thought that would be really useful both in the UK and in Cape Verde. So I bought those, but they are very expensive. At the show I got them at the astounding price of £45. Normally, well, you're going to spend £50 to get a pair of these goggles. I assume they will be discounted time and again. But I'm going out to Cape Verde in a couple of weeks, and I thought it would be quite useful to have them for that trip. Not quite prepared to wait for them to be discounted. My wife was rather shocked at the price though. Okay, the second thing I bought was a Tempo Trainer Pro, wrong way up, and the Tempo Trainer Pro effectively is a replacement for my normal Tempo Trainer, which eventually will run out of battery. And the difference between this and this partly is that you can replace the battery on the Tempo Trainer Pro, so it's a lifelong piece of kit. It also has 3 modes as opposed to 1 mode, and therefore becomes a slightly more useful tool. I rather like the fact that you can set strokes per minute. You don't always have to go into seconds per stroke. So for example, 1 second per stroke will be 60 strokes a minute, 0.8 will be 75, etc. But you can actually go into a mode where you set the strokes per minute or beats per minute. And that can be quite useful also when you're on the turbo trainer. So you want to hit 90 revolutions or 60 revolutions. You actually hit that and you get it beeping in your ear. So I think that's quite a good upgrade. That actually was only £23 at the show, and I thought that was really good value. That's why I plumped for that. Okay, the next thing I bought was this iFitness combination running belt and water carrier. It got a very wide strap as opposed to those thin straps on normal running belts, and a wide connector at the front or back. You can obviously turn it round. It's got proper running number belt catches so that you can just put your number on the front or back, whichever you want. But it's got 2 bottles positioned at slight angles that sit on your hips or waist, and it's exceptionally comfortable and it doesn't jog up and down. That's going to be useful in both racing and in training, especially if I'm out in Cape Verde and it's rather hot. So the iFitness running belt is something I'll be using in 2 weeks' time out in Cape Verde. It does have a pouch which you can put food in, or you can put even a key. You've got a little key pouch there. It's rubberized, so you're not going to get dirt over everything, and you can just put your keys in there. So I think that's quite useful. And like I say, I'll be using that in 2 weeks' time out in Cape Verde, so I'll give you a heads up on how that actually works. Okay, so the last thing I bought, my wife breathed a sigh of relief, were these Finis paddles. And these Finis paddles are single finger paddles, which is exactly how you should wear a paddle anyway. You should never put it completely over your hand if you can possibly help it, otherwise you won't be getting the stroke correction that you need. But you can see they're a long paddle from front to back, and they have a fin on the bottom of them, which obviously moves against the water if you're in the wrong position. So if you're in the wrong position as you enter, you're going to be forced to change position. I'll be using them over the next few weeks, and comparing them to my normal paddles, because I know what my normal paddles do and how I feel with those, but I don't yet know how these really react. I've used them only once, and I think you have to use things a few times to actually get used to them. So it'll be very interesting to give you a review in a few weeks' time of these paddles and normal paddles, and give you a heads up as to what is good and what is bad about each type of paddle. Okay, so what did I like at the show and didn't buy? Well, the first thing is this, which is called Game Ready. And it's being used by physios, rugby clubs, football clubs, to help repair injury or stop inflammation, so that an injury can be diagnosed and treated much quicker, and also to repair muscle that has been obviously overused whilst exercising. So for running you might put it on. It's delivered in sheaths that wrap around a particular area. I put it on an arm sheath, and a machine there, if you can see it, then delivers iced water and continues delivering it in a flow. And because it's delivering it in a flow, it remains very cold for a long time. But it not only does that, it can pulse, so it can virtually massage the area. And that massaging and delivery of ice cold water just reduces inflammation. And that reduction in inflammation either aids recovery, or it enables diagnosis of an injury much sooner than it could be otherwise, and therefore speeds up your overall recovery. Quite an innovative product, quite interesting. Second thing that was interesting to me was this HUB wetsuit, H-U-U-B, I don't know how to pronounce it. But they are quite innovative in that they try through strips of tightened neoprene, or strengthened neoprene, to correct stroke errors, as well as add buoyancy where it's necessary and flexibility on the arms, biceps and on the forearms. So as an innovative product, that's interesting, but it's also interesting because they're sponsoring the Brownies, and anything the Brownies get sponsored in is going to be a big product, I would suggest, certainly in this country. So the HUUB wetsuit, HUB, if you can. Keep on dropping everything here. Okay, something that could potentially save your life. Aftershocks headphones. These are innovative headphones which loop over the ear but sit on the bone by the side of your ear, and they deliver music through there without actually ever going in the ear. I very nearly bought some of these for my wife because she can't take headphones in the ear itself, and I thought for anything, for running, etc., she could actually use those. But they're exceptionally expensive. They're $59.95 or $99 and $69.95. The $59.95 one has a simple unit to control the sound, whereas the $69.95 can be linked to a phone, and that phone then you can be answered with just the unit. So for £10 you get a phone ready set. But if you are cycling with headphones on, which I hate to see because you cannot hear the traffic, these sit on the outside of the ear so they don't deaden the actual sound of other road users. So they're much safer. They could actually save your life. You will hear that car coming up. You will hear that truck or that bus. So headphones on the outside, if you're commuting, £60, I would say, or 50, I suppose 60 or 70 pound, is a small price to pay to save your life. So I really like those. And the last thing were these, which are Q rings. Q rings are used by a lot of the peloton now. They're elliptical rings, so they're not circular, they're actually elliptical, like egg-shaped if you like. And they're meant to deliver power more continuously to the pedals. They eliminate that dead spot to a large extent. And most people I know who have them say that that's exactly what it does. After you get used to them, you actually do eliminate that dead spot, and you will go 2 to 4 miles per hour faster than you did before. And that's for no increase in actual improvement in your physiology. They are expensive though, at £159 a ring as a minimum, that I saw, but again, innovative product that I really like. I like innovation. Okay, that was the show. Overall, I thought the show was a bit muddled this year. I thought it was a bit cramped. I haven't been to it for a couple of years because I've been out the country. But I did think that there were interesting things there. Lots of food you could have. Lots of, when I say food, I'm talking about testing energy foods and recovery drinks and foods and things like that. So you could do that. Lots of wetsuits on show. Some innovative products, as I've shown you. But overall, I thought it was a bit muddled. It didn't know where it wanted to go. You didn't have big things to go to in particular areas. There weren't a lot of bikes there, I didn't think. I thought the bike manufacturers were few and far between. But the overall triathlon people were there. I enjoyed it. 2 hours, I think, probably wasn't enough because I'd like to have heard some of the speakers speak. But I didn't need much more than 2 hours to do the actual show itself. Okay, I'll speak to you next week. Have a good week. Enjoy your training. The weather's getting slightly nicer, so hopefully we'll all be out there doing our tri thing. Thanks very much.